You're about to uncover a rare, almost secret knowledge that very few men will ever come across when it comes to understanding and attracting women. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll have a clear understanding of exactly how to approach women, how to tap into their thoughts and emotions, and how to create a magnetic connection that will make them look forward to the next time they see you or hear from you. Picture this. Here you are, and there she is. The girl you'll be talking to. What do you say to her? What should you talk about? How can you keep the conversation flowing effortlessly and keep her intrigued? Well, this is where many men make a common mistake. They overthink it. They stress over what to say or how to say it. But the truth is, you shouldn't be doing that. Before we dive into the deeper details of this, let's take a step back and reset your perspective. I want you to begin with a shift in your mindset. When you approach or start a conversation with a girl, remind yourself that she's just a person, just like you. She's a human being with her own hopes, fears, dreams, and quirks. Now, I know that might sound overly simplistic and perhaps even a bit superficial, but trust me on this. It's an incredibly important mental adjustment. When you see her as just another person, rather than elevating her onto some unapproachable pedestal just because she's attractive, everything changes. It's so easy to be intimidated by beauty or charm, but I need you to break free from that mindset. From now on, whenever you find yourself in a conversation with a beautiful girl, I want you to remember this one key thought. She's just a human being. Keep that in mind and watch how it transforms your approach. Now, let's take this further. The second crucial mindset shift is to see yourself in a higher position while she remains in a lower one. Don't worry. I'll guide you on how to adopt this mindset properly, but for now, just let it sink in. I want you to understand that when you're engaging with a girl, her subconscious mind is continuously evaluating you. It's trying to determine if you are the right man for her. In fact, there's an innate, almost primal instinct within her, which is deeply rooted in her biology and her emotions, guiding her towards finding the right partner. If you've been following this series, you already know that women are primarily driven by emotion. Their actions, their decisions, especially in relationships, are largely shaped by what they feel, not always by logic. Today, we're going to dive deeper into understanding this powerful emotional pull and how it works to your advantage. Quick break. The course is reopened and it's almost sold out. Don't sit around thinking you have time because you don't. The girl you want, she'll be gone if you don't learn these secrets, and guess what? Everyone else will be left behind, stuck wondering what went wrong. This is your shot to level up, to leave them all in the dust. This is the last time you'll get it at this price. Next time, it's going up. Time's ticking, and you know it. Don't let this slip through your fingers. Let me take a moment to explain what attraction truly means for a woman. This is the single most important, fundamental concept you must fully grasp if you want to succeed with women and in the dating world. If you don't understand how attraction works, no matter what tactics or strategies you try, you will always fall short. There are no exceptions to this rule. Attraction is the foundation. Without it, everything else becomes irrelevant. Unlike men, who often make decisions based on logic, women are primarily driven by their emotions. They act based on how they feel in the moment, which can be both powerful and unpredictable. Women tend to see something, feel a deep emotional reaction, and then respond accordingly. That emotional drive is what shapes their actions and their choices. This isn't something that women can control. It's an innate biological response. Their subconscious mind takes the lead, guiding them to feel attraction for certain men based on behaviors, signals, and energy that resonate with their emotional needs. This is why attraction is so much more about how they feel than anything logical or rational. Attraction is not a choice, it's a subconscious reaction. A woman doesn't decide who she's attracted to based on a conscious thought process. Instead, her subconscious mind picks up on behaviors and qualities that either draw her in or push her away. These attraction triggers, rooted deep in biology, operate outside of her conscious awareness, and this is crucial for you to understand. The ability to spark attraction is not just about what you say, it's about how you make her feel. Before we dive into specific behaviors that trigger attraction, let's clarify a couple of key facts that will help you better understand the process. First, women do not have control over who they are attracted to. It is not a conscious decision, but a deep internal reaction that they cannot consciously change. Second, women also do not control who they are not attracted to. This means that attraction is something that happens automatically, at a subconscious level, based on signals and triggers that are beyond their direct control. To give you a clearer picture, I want you to imagine this subconscious part of a woman's mind as a radar. Picture a high-tech radar scanning the world around her, constantly on the lookout for signs of attraction. The moment you approach her and begin to engage in conversation, that radar lights up. It starts scanning you, your behaviors, your tone, your body language, your confidence. It's evaluating whether or not you're the kind of man she's subconsciously seeking. This radar operates completely independently of her conscious mind. So, if her radar locks onto you and detects something that excites it, her conscious thoughts will have no choice but to follow. It overrides her logical reasoning. This is the reason so many women find themselves inexplicably drawn to men who, on paper, seem like the wrong choice, men who might mistreat them or act in ways that logically don't align with her best interests. Her radar has locked onto something in him, something that her subconscious mind deems as attractive, and no matter how much her logical mind protests, she feels compelled to go after it. Her brain will warn her, saying things like, "You've been down this road before. You'll get hurt. You'll be cheated on again." But because her emotional brain is so powerful, it overrides her logic, pulling her toward the very thing that might not be good for her. So, here's something important that I want you to carry with you throughout this journey. From the moment a girl is born, she has one ultimate goal in life, a goal that guides her actions, decisions, and even her subconscious mind, to find the right man for her. And no, this is not just some societal cliche or romantic notion that we hear about in movies. It is a biological fact. Whether she's a scientist, a doctor, a professor, or an astronaut working for NASA, her internal radar is always on the lookout for the right man. Her career or achievements may define her on the surface, but on a deeper, primal level, her core drive is to find a partner who complements her emotionally and biologically. Here's the key. This right man is not someone she consciously chooses. She doesn't sit down with a list of qualities or consciously evaluate every potential suitor. Instead, it's this radar inside her that's constantly at work, scanning, filtering, and choosing the man who aligns with her needs, her desires, and her biological instincts. So, whenever you talk to a girl, always be aware that this radar is active, assessing you to see if you're the one she's subconsciously seeking. Every word you speak, every gesture you make, and every signal you send is being processed by this radar. Whether you realize it or not, this radar is scanning for a sense of security, attraction, and emotional connection. It is constantly asking, does he meet my needs? Does he make me feel something? And it will either signal yes or no, based on how you present yourself and your energy. The sooner you internalize this concept, the better you will understand how to connect with women on a deeper level. This is not about trying to win them over with clever lines or superficial tactics. It's about understanding that attraction is an internal, subconscious process that you can influence by being the kind of man who naturally triggers her radar. That's the real key to unlocking attraction. The radar inside a woman's mind is constantly scanning for specific things about you. One of the most important things it's assessing is whether you appear to be better than her, or if she is better than you. This might sound a bit strange, but it's crucial to understand. The way this radar works is by observing how you treat her and how you present yourself during your interactions. It doesn't just look for what you say, but how you say it, how you behave, and how you position yourself in relation to her. The radar will pick up on subtle signals that either show you consider yourself to be above her or that you're putting her on a pedestal, making her feel superior. Here's the key. If you present yourself as someone who values themselves more than her, meaning you exude self-respect and self-confidence, the radar will interpret this as you being the better person. This shift in perception will automatically make her more interested in you, almost as if she can't help it. The dynamics of attraction start to work in your favor in ways that are subtle yet incredibly powerful. I know this may sound confusing or even counterintuitive. You might be thinking, how can I make her think I'm better than her without coming off as arrogant? Well, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll fully understand how to use these techniques to not only make any girl think about you long after your conversation, but also make her emotionally drawn to you without even knowing why she feels that way. It all comes down to how you present yourself. So, let's dive into how to communicate this sense of higher value and confidence, starting with something that most people overlook: body language. Body language is the silent communication that speaks louder than words, and it plays a huge role in how you're perceived. You might have heard advice like always keep your head up, or don't put your hands in your pockets, or sit up straight. While these tips are well-intentioned, they're oversimplified and don't really address the core of attraction. Let me tell you what you should focus on when it comes to body language. Forget all those general rules you've been told, and let's get specific with 3 powerful actions that will make a significant difference. The first point to keep in mind is, never lean towards her when you're speaking. This may seem like a natural instinct, especially if you're interested in her, but it subconsciously signals that you're too eager or overly invested in her. When you lean forward, you're physically closing the space between you, and that can make you appear too available or chasing her. Instead, make it a habit to lean away slightly when you're talking to her. This subtle shift in your body language signals that you're in control of the interaction, not overly invested, and that you're comfortable being your own person. This alone will make you appear more intriguing and high value to her radar. The second point is a tactic that many men miss but is extremely effective. Start walking away when she says something you don't agree with or when you sense her losing interest. This might sound dramatic, but trust me, it works. For example, if a girl says something like, "I'm not really that interested," you could respond with something like, "I get it. I'm probably too much for you to handle anyway. You're too nice for me." Then, start walking away while you say this. Don't look back. Let her see that you're not desperate for her attention. You'll likely notice a dramatic shift. Either she'll try to stop you with a comment like, "Wait, what do you mean?" Or she might even start walking towards you. Attractive women aren't used to guys walking away like this. Most men will chase them or keep trying to impress them, but walking away communicates high value and independence, making her want you more. It disrupts the usual dynamic, and when a woman senses that you're not chasing her, it creates an emotional vacuum that draws her in. The third point to remember is to always maintain a strong sense of self. This means not only physically demonstrating confidence, but also emotionally and mentally believing in your own worth. When you show through your actions and words that you're a man who values himself above all else, someone who doesn't need validation or approval, it forces her to respect you. She will subconsciously begin to see you as someone who's in control, someone who stands apart from other men. This emotional and mental positioning is what makes the radar pick up on you as a higher value individual. Now, let's dive deeper into one of the most important aspects of body language that will have a huge impact on your interactions, especially when it comes to attracting women. The third point I want you to be aware of, not just for this situation, but for your entire life, is about how you carry yourself in terms of comfort and confidence. It may sound simple, but trust me, this one concept can dramatically shift how you're perceived and how you feel about yourself in social situations. Let me help you understand this by giving you an example. Picture yourself sitting next to someone who holds a high status, maybe a boss, a celebrity, or someone you deeply admire. How would you behave? You're likely going to sit with an upright posture, your movements might feel more controlled, and you'll probably try to appear relaxed yet respectful. You may even catch yourself smiling or laughing a little more than usual, doing everything in your power to please them or gain their approval. The key here is that you're subconsciously aware of their status, and you might feel a bit self-conscious about how they perceive you. Now, imagine sitting next to a close friend you've known for years, or even your brother. How does your body language change? You don't care about being proper or trying to impress them. You might sit with your legs stretched out, slouch a little, lean back comfortably, and engage in casual conversation. Your body language is relaxed and natural because you don't feel the need to prove anything to them. They already accept you for who you are. This mindset is not just about impressing women though. It's about living your life with a sense of freedom and comfort that doesn't depend on the validation of others. Once you stop overthinking how you present yourself to people, you'll feel more authentic and confident in every situation, in every interaction, whether with friends, family, colleagues, or potential romantic interests. Focus on what makes you feel good, not what you think others expect from you. Remember, the girl you're talking to isn't scrutinizing every little movement you make. She's paying attention to whether you're comfortable and confident. If you're constantly worried about doing the right thing with your body language to impress her, you'll come off as insecure and overly concerned with her opinion. However, if you act naturally, with confidence and ease, she'll subconsciously recognize your higher value. And this concept goes far beyond just dating. It's a universal truth that will serve you well in every aspect of your life. Whether you're in a job interview, having a conversation with a friend, or engaging with anyone in any social setting, the more relaxed and comfortable you are in your own skin, the more others will respect you and be drawn to your presence. So, what does this all mean? When two people are sitting and talking, the one who sits more comfortably and without effort is the one who is subconsciously perceived as the higher value individual. Why? Because they don't need to act in a way that pleases or impresses the other person. They are simply comfortable being themselves. This is the mindset I want you to adopt when you're talking to a girl or anyone in your life for that matter. When you sit across from a girl, I want you to think of it in terms of confidence and self-assurance. The first thing you need to do is sit comfortably in whatever position feels best for you. Forget about the idea that you need to look a certain way or act in a specific manner to impress her. If you want to put your hand in your pocket, do it. If you want to lean back in your chair or stretch your legs, go ahead. You might even feel the urge to relax and rest your arm on the back of the chair. It's all about doing what makes you feel at ease in the moment. The most important thing is that you stop worrying about how she's perceiving you. If you're constantly preoccupied with how your body language looks, thinking about whether you should cross your legs or keep your back straight, whether your hands should be on the table or in your pockets, you'll be projecting insecurity, and that's not attractive to anyone. What is attractive is your ability to be present and at ease. If you're comfortable in your body, your comfort will radiate to those around you. It will communicate that you value yourself and that you're confident in your own skin. She will notice that you're relaxed and in control, and that will trigger attraction. From this point on, I want you to internalize this. Stop obsessing over your body language or what you should do to impress people. Instead, focus on what makes you feel comfortable, confident, and authentic. When you stop trying to impress others, you will naturally impress them with your genuine sense of self. You'll start to feel liberated, and people will begin to see you as someone with true high value, someone who doesn't need to chase approval or validation, and that's the type of person everyone wants to be around. The moment you start obsessing over what body language you should adopt, that's the moment you know you're taking the wrong approach. You have to understand that true attraction comes from within, and it's about being comfortable in your own skin. The key is to make peace with yourself and not care about how she perceives you. Sit however you like, express yourself freely, and don't worry about how you appear to her. When you embody this level of comfort, confidence, and authenticity, that's when you send a signal that you see yourself as someone with higher value. Now that we've wrapped up body language, let's dive into one of the most crucial aspects of attraction: how to communicate with her. This is where a lot of guys go wrong, and I'm going to share a formula with you that I want you to always keep in mind when talking to any woman. The 50-30-20 rule. 50% of the conversation should focus on her and her personality. 30% should be about the environment around you or anything else that's relevant. 20% should be about you. It may seem simple at first, but trust me, this formula will completely change the way you approach your conversations. Let me explain why this structure works and why it's vital for you to follow it. Before we dive deeper though, I want you to take a second and hit that like button on this video. We're aiming for 3,500 likes, so if you're finding this helpful, show some love. Now, back to the formula. The reason 50% of the conversation should be about her and only 20% about you is because of a fundamental truth in any social interaction. The person who needs the approval is the one who talks mostly about themselves. Think about it this way. Have you ever been in a job interview? In that situation, you're the one doing most of the talking, explaining your experiences, your abilities, your qualifications, because you need the job. The interviewer is in control, and you're the one seeking approval. The same concept applies when you're interacting with women. The more you talk about yourself, the more you're subconsciously signaling that you need her validation. Women, just like anyone else, are attracted to people who don't need to seek validation from them. And this is one of the key elements in making a lasting impression. So, when you're talking to her, let the conversation focus more on her and less on you. Now, let's break this down. First, let's talk about the 50%, focusing on her and her personality. How do you do that without seeming like you're interrogating her? Simple. You ask open-ended questions and listen with genuine curiosity. I've already mentioned the listen like a therapist technique in a previous video. And if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you check it out after you finish this one. But let me quickly summarize it for you here. The goal is to make her feel heard and understood. You're not just asking her questions to gather information, you're showing real interest in her world. This is where you can get into topics like what she likes and dislikes, how she spent her childhood, her aspirations and dreams for the future, what she enjoys doing in her free time, what she feels proud of, and what she may consider as a weakness or area for improvement. These questions should spark deeper conversations that reveal more about her personality, her beliefs, and her desires. The more she opens up to you, the more she'll associate positive feelings with you. You're not just learning about her, you're creating a bond and building a connection that goes beyond surface level small talk. When you focus on 30% of the conversation about the environment or any external topics, you're simply creating a flow and rhythm in the conversation. Talk about something around you, whether it's something funny that just happened, an interesting place you visited recently, or a shared experience. This helps keep the conversation dynamic and gives her a chance to share her thoughts on something neutral, which builds comfort between you two. Finally, the 20% about you should be just enough to provide insight into who you are. You can briefly share your experiences, thoughts, or opinions, but make sure it doesn't dominate the conversation. This should never turn into a monologue about your life or your achievements. Think of this as adding little glimpses of your personality into the conversation without oversaturating it. Remember, you're not seeking her approval. You're simply sharing pieces of yourself in a way that's balanced and not overwhelming. Here's an example of how this works in real life. So, you mentioned that you love traveling. What's the best trip you've ever taken? Her. Oh, I went to Paris last year and it was incredible. You. Paris, huh? That sounds amazing. What was your favorite part of the trip? The food? The culture? Her. Definitely the food. I could eat croissants all day. You. That's so true. Paris has the best croissants. I actually went to Italy last summer and had the best pasta of my life. It was so good, I almost forgot to take a picture of it. Notice how the conversation switches back to her, with your story adding just a small personal touch. See how the conversation naturally flows between her and you. She gets to talk about her experiences and interests, while you share just enough of your own stories to keep the connection alive without dominating the exchange. It's the perfect balance. By following this formula, you're allowing the conversation to focus on her, building rapport and trust while giving her enough insight into your life to keep things interesting. You're demonstrating that you're a man who doesn't need to talk endlessly about himself to be interesting and that you value her perspective. This kind of dynamic will make her feel more attracted to you, and it will make your time together more meaningful and enjoyable for both of you. Before we end, most of you will never get real advice about women. You're guessing, messing up DMs, ruining relationships, and feeling lost. Here's the truth. I'm the only one who can actually help you get real results. And for the first time ever, I'm offering something I've never done before. A personal one-on-one chat with me. You'll get direct advice on your specific issues, whether it's DMing, sex, relationships, or anything else. No fluff, just real answers. We can even work together on a chat with a girl to make her go out on a date with you live. This is a game changer. It's you and me, one-on-one. No more wasting time on advice that doesn't work. I've got 4 packages available. Choose what is better for you, but this is only for guys who are serious about leveling up, and VIP spots are limited. Link is in the description. Let's get started. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down your thoughts. See you in the next one.